Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for that beautiful music, Rick. Appreciate it. So it looks like we have Doug will be our message deliverer today. And we have Joy True for our special music and Rick on piano, as usual, our house musician. And if you'd please turn off your phones, that'd be great. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone here. Oh, it's so nice to see you here. And boy, we had a service last week, didn't we? With so much special music. It was just beautiful. And I'm glad to see each of you here today. You know, it reminds me, we come to the church, we get to do the walk of the azaleas. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And for those that are at home on the internet, we welcome you to come to church. You can walk the azaleas with us sometime. And thank you for tuning in to us, whether you're on Facebook Live or maybe YouTube or something later in the week. I'm going to, if you'll let me, I'm going to start out with a little story this morning. Just a little story. It's Matthew 6:6. When you pray, shut the door. Pray in secret. Pray to your Father who is unseen. And the story follows that. I was much younger then, and it was a summer job, and I was working for, it was a contractor. He was about 40 years old at the time, and I was a young guy. And his business was renovating places once there was a fire. We sort of did fire restoration work. And we had special sponges to take the soot off the walls in houses and commercial buildings and so forth. And he had like 3 or 4 vans. We ran around on the vans doing all kinds of work. And I remember one time they had a fire at WSLS downtown, when it was downtown. And I had to go in after school. And I had this little tool. It didn't have proper tools back then. I had a little tool and I had to get down on my hands and knees and try to scrape the stuff off the flooring. And you scraped so much that you got your hands blistered. We didn't have the proper tools. But I remember one Saturday came, and for some reason he was with us, the owner, and there was about 3 or 4 of us. He said, "I'll take y'all to McDonald's for lunch." And so we went to McDonald's, and it was like busy hour, 12 o'clock, Franklin Road. 25, 35, well, 40-some years ago, maybe 50. And we were sitting there, and we each ordered what we wanted, and we sat at a table, and then he said this, and there was crowded. I mean, people going, I want a double burger and extra fries and all that. And he said, everyone grab hands, as we did in the table. And he said, let's pray. And he prayed very loud so that everyone could see us, so that everyone could look at him. And we sat there and we prayed, and I didn't feel right. I didn't feel right. I just didn't feel right. About prayer in Matthew 6:6. When Archbishop Desmond Tutu was about 80 years old, someone asked him, "Now that you're getting older, do you pray differently?" And he said, "Oh, I certainly do. When I was younger, I used to pray the prayer as a petition, like, God, give me this, grant me that, change this, change that." He said, "I don't do that so much anymore. I just shut up." He said, prayer is like on a winter day being in front of a fireplace and just letting the warmth warm you all over. Elijah the prophet, he didn't hear God in an earthquake or the howling winds. He heard a small voice from God. One time at church here, I had someone ask me, they said, "Doug, how do you pray?" Here's the answer. You don't have to be eloquent. You don't even have to be smart. All you need to do is sit by the fire, let it warm you. Now we get to go to our statement of being. This is who we are. For those on the internet, please Follow along with us if you would. It's on the TV screen. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Joy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I have a fancy new loop station,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to use it at all for the first song. Sorry. Just to tell you. So I love that Doug brought up prayer because I've been thinking about Ukraine a lot lately and feeling sad that there's not more I can do rather than send money. So I wrote a song that's a prayer for Ukraine. So I'm going to sing it for you. Ooh. I have to warm up. There's a river in the sky. It's a little lullaby. A million waves of sound stretching from me to you. I cannot ease your pain. I cannot end your sorrow. But maybe I can sing all of our dreams to life. I sing my hope for you. I sing my strength for you. I sing my light for you. I sing my love for you. Here's a way for your grief. Here's a way for your sorrow. Past from star to star to wherever you are. There's a river in the sky. It's a little lullaby. A million waves of sound stretching from me to you. I sing my hope for you. I sing my strength for you. I sing my light for you. I sing my love for you. I sing my love for you.
Please join me. Now is our time for our healing meditation. Right where you are. Right where you are. Take a deep breath. Can you release the thoughts that you brought in with you today? I don't know, maybe a troubled thought, or a troubled heart. Just for a minute, let it out of your grasp. Quit clenching it so tightly. We just spoke about prayer. Let's all get closer to the fire. Feel the warmth around us. Feel God's love and light around us now. Oh, I can feel it. Thank you, Father, for the beauty that we get to see with our eyes as we walk the walk of the azaleas. It helps strengthen us. And that we look at the beautiful flowers, and the trees are budding out, grasses are turning green. Sometimes nature takes us back to just where we need to be. Scoot closer to that fire now. Scoot closer to that light of love of God. Let go of any worry or concern that you brought with you today. God is that mist, that power, that raindrop that supplies all of our needs. When we pray, we don't have to pray eloquently. Just pray with your heart. And He will hear you. In these next 90 seconds, I invite you to scoot closer to that light of love. As individually you speak to yourself in your inner voice, talking with God, beginning now. Beloved, where two or more are gathered in His name, He's there. God grant us peace. Peace which surpasses all understanding. I give you peace. Amen.
Amen.
Well, we found a beautiful rendition of the Lord's Prayer. It's the Nora Lord's Prayer. Please recite with me. It's on the TV screen. Our Father, who is everywhere, your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth. You give us our food throughout the earth.
You give us our daily bread from day to day.
And you forgive us our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from evil. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, the song, and praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. So it is. Well, I can't quite warm up like Joy did, so we'll just keep going. Well, this was a hard one for me this week. I had an idea what I wanted to do, and I started working on it, and I thought, no one wants to hear that. Let me do something else. So I started doing something else, and then that idea kept cropping back. I thought, no, we just finished a beautiful Palm Sunday and a Good Friday, and oh, what an Easter service we had. No one wants to hear that, dog. Just leave it. So I started working on something else. It didn't work. Kept coming back. So this is probably either for me, or maybe it's a message for someone here. Maybe someone needs to hear this today. And if you're not the one that does, well then please just sit politely, I guess. Because I had to keep coming back to this. Well, the women, they came to the tomb Sunday morning. The stone was rolled aside, and they looked inside, and Jesus wasn't there. They had come with spices. And an angel said, "Why are you looking for the living among the dead?" I'm like, where is Jesus now? Where is Jesus now? I mean, he's just defeated death. Where is he now? I mean, listen, if it were me, I'd go back to, I'm near Jerusalem now. I'd go back to Jerusalem and I'd go to Pilate. Look, see, it's me. You put the sign above, said King of the Jews. I'm here. I would. Or I would try to find the disciples that left me, that weren't there when I needed them. What did Jesus do? What did Jesus do? Here's what he did. He turned his back on Jerusalem and is walking on a little road to Emmaus. And we're going to meet up with two people that we've never met in the Bible. Why did he do that? We're going to walk to Emmaus. Now, if you like me, I would like to go to Israel sometime. I really would. I'd like to walk in the footsteps of Jesus and say, oh, look at that. And here's Calvary. And I'd like to do that. And if you have, you can still walk to Emmaus today. There's a small little road, dirt road. And if your guide is really honest, he'll say, well, it might be 7 miles outside of Jerusalem, but we really don't know where it is. If he's really honest, because archaeologically there's nothing of Emmaus. Matter of fact, in the day, there was no trade there, no bartering, no commerce. I guess it was just a few houses. Why would, after you defeat death, would you be on a road to a place that you can't even pinpoint on a map and meet up with two people that we've never met before? Well, let's go. We're going to walk together, all right? We're going to walk together. I've got my walking shoes on today. We're going to walk together. Let's look at Luke 24:13. I'm just going to read just a little bit. Now that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. Well, we know what had happened, don't we? And it made me think oh, are we looking for God in all the wrong places? I mean, are we looking for God in maybe a dead religion or a dead church or a dead prayer life? Maybe we're looking for God in some miracle to happen. Or maybe a mega church. I'm not saying God can't be in a mega church, certainly. Or maybe a televangelist with his own jet. Maybe that's where God is, but sometimes I think we look for God in all the wrong places. All the wrong places. In today's time, many of us look for a God-like in our lives through social media. You know, we're always constantly on our cell phones, or maybe on Facebook looking for things. Maybe even TikTok. I was reading this week where a man gets his living from TikTok, I guess. He had an airplane, and it needed some work, but it was a perfectly good airplane. He's flying high in the sky. He took a video of himself for TikTok so he could load it down to TikTok, jumping out of the airplane and letting it crash to the ground. Of course, the FAA has now withdrawn his license and he can't fly again. Are we looking for God in all the wrong places? Why did Jesus just defeated death, move the stone? Why is he walking to a place that we don't even know about today? Well, let's read just a little bit more. Let's read who these people are. Jesus comes up to him. He asks, these two men were walking, or these two people, I'm sorry. He asked them, what are you discussing together as you walk along? They stood with their faces downcast. One of them here's the name, Cleopas, asked him, are you the only one who doesn't know what happened? Cleopas. So now we know his name. Most biblical scholars think that it was Cleopas and his wife. You see, at the time, women often didn't get mentioned in the Bible even. They weren't. In that day, in that era, they weren't given the due recognition that they deserved. So most Bible scholars think it was Cleopas and his wife. And since we're friends with them now, let's just call them Mr. and Mrs. Cleo. Now we'll go back to verse 16. As they were walking, but they were kept from recognizing him. It doesn't say they didn't recognize him or couldn't recognize him. It says they were kept from recognizing him on his walk after he just rolled the stone away. They were kept from recognizing him. You know, are we sometimes kept from our true joy in life because we think, well, you know, I don't really deserve it, do I? Are we sometimes kept from a relationship that we should have or could have because, well, we don't really deserve it, do we? Are we kept from maybe the job that we wanted because, well, I didn't have enough education. I don't think I deserve that job. Sometimes the small details can make a big difference. When the 5,000 were on the hillside and Jesus said to the disciples, feed them. Well, they said, well, you didn't tell us to bring lunch? Feed them. But a small boy came up, just a few loaves of bread and a fish, and Jesus multiplied it. He multiplied it and fed the 5,000. Now, sometimes we're kept from really what we should be doing. Well, as I was reading all this, and as I was discovering on my walk, you know, we're walking, I was thinking, well, maybe you could even high step a little bit, you know? Or maybe you're crawling. And then I thought, does God care more about the journey than the destination? That's what this made me think of, this whole walk through to Emmaus. Made me think that maybe God cares more about our journey than our eventual destination. Oh, I know He cares about the destination, but I think the journey is really important. Remember? He walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I'm his own. There's a story about journeys. This man and woman, they were newlyweds, and they wanted to assure that they had a really, really successful life. Good marriage, good jobs, good futures. And they had heard about I guess you would call him a sage that lived in Upper Catskills. So they went up there, made an appointment. They had to wait for hours because other people were seeing him, but they had an appointment. And they went in there and they said, we want to have a successful life. We want to have a good marriage. What would you say to us? Here's what he did. He gave him a spoon and a hard-boiled egg. He said, put the egg in the spoon and go through these doors back here and you can go through my house. Well, they did. They carried the spoon. He said, don't drop the egg. And they had the egg there. And they went all through the house, watching the egg, making sure it didn't drop out of the spoon. And after about 25 minutes, they came back, and the sage, the wise man, said, did you see my tapestry room with all those beautiful tapestries? Did you see my library full with books on all the walls? And what about that porch view over the vista of the lake? Did you see that expensive, nice furniture from Europe and so forth? And they looked at him and said, no, we didn't see any of it. We were paying attention to the egg. We didn't see any of it. He said, this time, take your spoon and your egg, and don't worry about the egg as if it were your destination. Just walk back through there. So they went through the doors again, and they took in all that beauty, the tapestry room and the library room full of books, the magnificent furniture, and that porch vista with looking out over the lake. Oh, they saw it all. It took them almost an hour to look at everything and just ooh and ah and take it all in. And then they came back to him and said, oh, we saw it all. We took it all in. He said, it's your journey. Go on your journey and pay attention to the journey, not the destination. I was reading that story as I was preparing this, and I was taking my Wednesday afternoon walk. The sun was out. It was just gorgeous, beautiful. It was about 60-some degrees. It wasn't real hot. It was just, if you remember back to Wednesday, what it felt like. And I was thinking about everything I wanted to try to make the point of about our journey, not so much the destination. And as I was walking, I thought, oh, Doug, it comes to my mind. We need to love. We need to love. We need to open our hearts and be vulnerable to someone or something, dog, cat. We need to love. That's our journey. Don't be afraid. Don't close it in. We have to open it up. That's our journey. I wanted to share with you, it's a brief story. I had a friend, he recently deceased, died. He was president of an insurance agency earlier in his life. He was president of the Roanoke Club. During the Vietnam era, he served as an officer, as a lieutenant in the Navy. Did 3 tours of Vietnam on a destroyer. Went to University of Maryland. He was well educated. Really, really, really nice guy. Nice man. He taught classes in property and casualty insurance to the new agents. He was one of the founders of what we call CPCU. It's like having a doctorate in insurance. He was one of the founders of that in this regional area. And this man who was so well educated, who had climbed to the pinnacle of his profession, had a stroke about 6 years ago, 7. He couldn't work anymore, and he couldn't drive anymore, couldn't go to the meetings downtown anymore. But I started calling about once every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and I would just talk to him. And he made up a character. And we had this character we would talk about. It was a grandfather that lived up on Bent Mountain. We just made it up. And he had a grandson. And the grandson would do stupid things like get on a bulldozer and try to push snow over at Woodrum Airport and run into airplanes and things like that. It would make him laugh. And then we would try to figure out what insurance coverage would cover whatever this grandson does. And what company would better cover the whole thing. Kept him a little active in the business. Well, he died, as I said, I don't know, about 2 months ago. I got to serve as a pallbearer. He had a circle of friends that were well-to-do. I got a card from his wife, and here's what she said. She said, Doug, that character y'all made up brought him so much joy over the years. Just thank you so much. It's our journey, folks. Our journey, not the destination. We open ourselves, open your heart to be vulnerable to love. He walks with me. He talks with me. He tells me I am his own. Will you go within with me now? Father, this one was from me today, Father. Or maybe someone else needed to hear it. I don't know. I couldn't put it aside, Father. It had to be said. Thank you for your reminding me of the journey that we're on, Father. And you're with us every step of the way. What more needs to be said? Amen.
Amen.
I was going to try not to get emotional. A friend of mine, a close friend of mine, passed away a couple weeks ago, and so I wrote a song for him. And I had it all together, and now I'm like emotional. So here you are seeing the real me. Love me with all your heart. Doug, I love that you said love with all your heart, and open your heart to love, because my friend Damaso, that's what he was. He was pure love. He was a big organizer in Chiapas, Mexico, and just treated everyone with pure compassion and generosity and openness, and dedicated his life to helping people. So it's just a great loss, and so this is for him. If I can sing it now, bear with me. I'm gonna dance again. All right, great. Tumule and Bio, Tumule and Domole, Nabia, Badate, 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 Nabia, Badate. When the spring opened wide, the world lost a shining light. The flowers are blooming and the sun is shining, but all I feel is a shadow hanging over me. You are the smell of freshly fallen rain. You are the roots of an old oak tree. You are the wind that carries the seeds, and I carry you with me. I will find a way to carry you with me. I will find a way to carry you with me. I will find a way to carry you with me. When the rain mixes with the sun, see the colors in the sky. Life brings you grief, life brings you joy, but you gave me a brilliant rainbow.
Thank you. Now is the time for our blessing of the gifts. This is an important part of this segment also. This is a time where we get to give our time and talents and our funds back into the church to help us to do everything that we do, lights, music, everything. Please recite with me the blessing of the gifts that's on the TV screen. Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent, blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Joy, for that wonderful music as always. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Get all my notes in the right place here. Thanks to the people that came out Friday night for the craft night and worked to make things for the SPCA. They had a really good time. I was doing other things, working with the computer and everything, but I could hear them laughing. They had a really good time, and Nancy took that and a bunch of food down yesterday when she volunteered. This is an ongoing thing. We'll be doing crafts again this Friday night for the same purpose. Then we'll go back to doing our other crafts in May, but we're going to do another night for the SPC, and we'll probably do it again somewhere along the way. But the food and the other things are on the list that Nancy had posted around, and I think it may be on our website now. But anyhow, it's an ongoing thing because Nancy's volunteering down there, and she said she would take the stuff when she goes, which will help us a lot. So if you got anything going to help the animals, because I know most of us are animal lovers and here, pet lovers, so anyhow, do what you can to help them. And I know we're going to start not advertising, but sponsoring a pet somewhere in the near future. We'll have pictures up of one, maybe a dog or cat. And also, Ann brought up the idea too, not only do we need people to adopt these animals, but sometimes we just need foster homes for them. So we'll probably be putting that up too, just to see if somebody wants to foster a pet for a while. So there's so many pets out there that are just been discarded. And anyhow, I don't want to get emotional about that either. So anyhow, that will be an ongoing thing, working with the SPCA and hopefully maybe the Angels of Assisi also. So we'll be doing that again. Also, as they announced last week, are voting for the board members, Ann and Pam has started. The ballots are over here for people that are here, so we'll have to mail them, save us 60 cents so we can put them somewhere, put them over here, I'm sorry. Put them up, and then Ann will be sending out ones to folks that don't come to church very often, so we'll get all the ballots out. But if you're here, please vote while you're here. We have until the end of May to do that, so gives people plenty of time to get them in the mail and get it back to us. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate Ann and Pam stepping up and continuing to work on the board with us. So also, as you know, we've gone to optional mask and so forth, but also some things we're not going to go back to doing. That's going to be passed in the basket. We're going to continue doing that, and the prayer basket over here, as we have been for the last 2 years. So feel free to put your donations over here in the basket and take some prayer names, because there's lots of people that need prayer, not only in our church, but in our community. So if you'll do that, and talking of finances, after every board meeting, Laurel posts the financial statement on the board for the 2 months previous to that. So if you ever have any questions about how the money's spent, it's posted on the bulletin boards. It takes about $3,000 just to run the church on an average basis. That's to pay the bills, pay the music and the lights and everything. It's about an average of $3,000. That didn't include any of the extra stuff that we have to do. So just so you know, that's what goes on with the money. But as always, the statements are always out there. And if you ever have any questions, you can ask any board member about it, because we'll be glad to tell you where the money is going and what we're doing with it. So anyhow, that being said, we said our project for this year will be to replace the floor in the annex. It's been
thing we've been wanting to do for several years, and it's always been something else that came up that we had to redo first. So that is our goal, is to get this floor redone in here and get the annex painted. We already have hopefully a painter that's going to volunteer their time for us, so that's wonderful. Anyhow, we're going to get 3 or 4 estimates on the floor and get some ideas. So it's going to take, it would be probably, I would say, late summer before we even get going with it, but we're already getting the estimates on it. So if anybody has any suggestions, feel free to give them to us. So that will be our project this year. Also, as you know, it's springtime and the flowers are blooming, and so we will be needing to get some yard work done. I don't know when we'll have a work day or if we'll have a work day, but if you want to make donations again to the garden fund so we can hire somebody to help keep these gardens clean and weed-free out here, that would be great. So we have a garden fund basket over here also if you want to do that. So other than that, Marita, do you have anything? Nancy, do you have anything about your class or
That's
anything?
Monday night, 4:30.
4:30, okay. And coffee on Wednesday night, and Marita's reading class on Wednesday night. So other than that, Ann, did you have any, did I miss anything? One other thing I did want to mention, Ann mentioned it to me. I know Mother's Day, we normally have a potluck dinner for the mothers that are here and don't go anywhere. I don't know that we're going to have a potluck. We'll have to talk about that and see, because we're not real comfortable about doing potlucks right now. So we may come up with some other idea. I don't know what we'll do yet, but hopefully we can do something for the mothers that will be here. I know some of them won't be, but anyhow, we'll come up with something hopefully to do that. So other than that, let's roll. Let's pay them.
Would y'all join me as we say the prayer of protection for all the peoples of Ukraine and the peoples of Russia and the people that are helping them? Please. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. The mind of God guides you. The power of God abides in you. The strength of God renews you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Now we're going to close our service as we have been with about 90 seconds of individual prayer for our country. If you would, please, I invite you. Thank you for sharing your Sunday with us. And God does bless you on your journey. God bless America.